Are you a millennial? If so, you're a fellow millennial just like us. And what we're going to go over today is the Millennial Crisis.
And my name is Amber.
And we are the founders of Legacy Ladies. And if you want the best advice in how to grow your legacy and protect it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell below so you can get notified when we upload new videos.
So the millennials are really split into two separate groups, and that's really because of when 2008 happened. How old were you when that happened? The older millennials, they came out of high school, out of training, college, and they were entering into a workforce where it was really hard to get jobs and their pay rate was just stagnant. It was not easy to get raises. The earlier part of the millennials, we saw what had happened and we entered into a little bit better market for finding jobs, and we also saved our money or started trying to save our money much more than the older generations as well. So to try to take like a snapshot look of what we are up against now, that way you guys don't feel alone. The average millennial, their net worth is about $8,000, and they're still receiving assistance financially from parents. The other thing is that about 75% of millennials are saving their money, but about 58-ish% of those guys, they got less than $5,000 in their savings. It's not because we don't want to save either. It's because inflation has gone up drastically when it comes to housing costs, food, cars, everything like that. And our increase in pay is actually 20% lower than what our parents was, if you do all the math and all that fun stuff. Our pay is about 20% lower than what our parents was at the same age. So our housing, costs of schools, everything has absolutely completely skyrocketed, while our pay is 20% lower than what our parents went through. So again, not for the lack of trying to save. A lot of our fellow millennials are actually putting more money into 401ks and trying to pay off debt instead of saving. So that is something that we are currently going through.
So if you're a millennial and you want to know more about saving your money, don't forget to hit us up in the description below and write a comment if you have any questions.
So now what we're going to do is just go over just a couple ways that it's easy to save money, because we know it's very hard, especially in the environment that we're in, but it's still important that you try. Tip number 1 is to pay yourself first. What does that mean? That means that when you get your paycheck in, before you pay any of your bills, before you pay anybody else, before you go shopping on Amazon, you take 10% of that at least and pay yourself. You put that into a savings account. If you don't prioritize your savings, it's never going to happen. You're going to find that at the end of the month, you have spent all your money and there's nothing there. So if you make the priority of paying yourself first, you know that that's already being put aside.
As millennials, we think spending money is easy and more in things that we don't need. So just be careful on that. And if you want to save that 10% of your paycheck for you and for your future and what's coming, it's best than spending it in things that you don't need.
Which actually brings me up to my next point. There is something called a 30-day rule. That's number 2, 30-day rule. Okay, so if you have something that you want to get, you are dying, you're like, ooh, look at those shoes. What you want to do is you want to take that item, write it down, write out how much it costs, and then don't buy it. Okay? Just wait 30 days. If you are still at the end of that 30 days, you have to have that, whatever that item may be, purchase it. That's fine. Tip number 3 is if your bank is like mine, it will actually roll over any extra cents left over from a purchase and put it into your savings account. That way, what seems like overnight, you actually have a nice chunk of change in there that you didn't even realize you were saving. All right, tip number 4 is to track your spending. I absolutely hated this one, but it's really good to know how much Starbucks I actually drink. If you can save that money and just make your coffee at home, it's amazing how much money you can save. Starbucks coffee, $5. Make it at home, average maybe 7 cents. You can do it. I know you can. Put down the pumpkin spice latte. It's okay. That being said, we're also not trying to tell you to not treat yourself, because there are days when you just have a day and you don't want to make your own coffee or whatever it is. It's perfectly fine. Go have someone make your pumpkin spice latte, your hot chocolate with extra whipped cream. It's okay. You can have your day. Tip number 5 is to actually create a budget and stick to it. Now, that's something that our generation as millennials, we actually did pretty good at. I think we stick better to our budgets than any other previous generations, minus, depression. They're pretty good at it. So, get a budget, stick to it, okay? If you don't have one, please get one. So those are just some easy steps that you can immediately implement into your life and try to start saving. And even if you use that money to pay off debts because interest rates and everything that match up, that's perfectly fine. This is just an easy place to start. What we're going to do moving forward, though, is get into deeper topics on how to actually pay off your debt much, much sooner, and grow the wealth that they've seen all the other generations have, or other millennials, the people that, travel and work, and they have lovely lives on Instagram. We're going to tell you how to get that without spending any extra money. So stay tuned for that, okay?
And if you would like to know more about the topics we talk about, just don't forget to schedule a chat with us. We have over there a coffee chat that you can schedule in our calendar in the description below. And if you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share with a friend. And we hope to see you in the next one.
See you then.
Last thing, don't forget, protect yourself and protect your legacy.